Up, Raider Nation? It is the Raider D back here on a weekend with the week in review. Today we are going to be talking about everything training camp, what's going on with our beloved Raiders, and we got a lot of stuff. We got a starter who is back at practice. He has missed all of training camp, so we're going to get into those tidbits right there. That news is really good news for the Raiders because we absolutely need this guy. We're also going to get into some Devonte Adams talk. He was not at camp today. We're going to be talking about why that is, as well as we're going to be talking about, again, the QBs, because there's more reports coming out about Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, as well as a couple of wide receivers who really showed out today, and a tight end who really showed out today. So all that and more on today's episode of the Raider D Podcast. All right, my beautiful Raiders and Raiderettes, thank you so much for each and every one of you who have been supporting the channel right from the gate. I see a couple of my regulars in here. Robert Pena, salute Raiders. Raider Ryan, the super fan. Thank you so much, my brothers, for joining us this evening. Okay, so let's get into a little bit about what is going on with the Raiders this week. And we've had pads. We're getting ready for our first preseason game next Saturday, which is going to be against the Minnesota Vikings, who, as you all know, last year we put up a big fat goose egg and were not able to walk away with a victory, even though our defense held them to 3 points. And it was 0-0 for most of the game, and we just simply dropped a big fat goose egg. So is this going to be a revenge game for the Raiders in a preseason mode, right? Well, I don't expect that you're going to see a whole lot out of Minnesota. We'll see what they kind of do, but I don't expect them to bring out a whole lot of their starters. I do expect some of our starters to be out there, if not all of them, for at least maybe one drive, maybe 3 or 4 snaps. Who knows how much they're going to be out there, but AP did say that it is going to be a competition. Now, with that being said, speaking of competition, we're going to get into some of the key points that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. And that is, we're going to be talking about the third day of padded practice and some of the big takeaways that insider reports are coming out about it. So far, everything is looking pretty good for the Raiders, which is exciting. I hope all of you are super excited about it. And if all of you are super excited about it, then make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, follow. If you're following me on TikTok, if you're following me on YouTube, we are dual streaming right now to the entire Raider Nation out there. And we want to get this out to as many people as possible. So make sure that you are hitting those like buttons and dropping comments and letting me know how you're feeling about the Raiders this coming season. Okay, so now the Raiders in their third pack, in their third thing, I'm gonna read off a few things that I think are very poignant that the fan base needs to know. Okay, so it was a very exciting day, a good day all around for pretty much the entire team, but especially when it came to the offense. But we're still missing some key guys. We're still missing Colton Miller, and we're still missing JPJ, Jackson Powers-Johnson. We are still missing wide receiver free agent that we picked up from the Chargers, Jalen Guyton. Those 3 guys are still on the PUP list. And what is the PUP list? The PUP list is the player unavailable to play list. So basically, they've got some type of injury. Player unavailable to perform, I think, is the technical term for it. And so Colton Miller is obviously the biggest name on that list. Jackson Powers-Johnson, however, it's concerning that he's been on the PUP list as long as he has. We don't know the full extent or actually what his real injury is. And for him, it's a big deal because he's missing a ton of practice time to get this offense down. He's going to be playing the guard position. He needs reps, and he's not getting them because of whatever this lagging injury is. Let's pray that it is not going to be the beginning of something that is going to be reoccurring with him, okay? So at this point right now, I'm going to say Colton Miller, according to AP, should be back soon. He's been working his tail off. He's almost there. So hopefully he's going to be back. Jalen Guyton, another guy we're expecting to be back real soon. And then JPJ, we just don't really know what's going on with him. Brandon Faison and running back Amir Abdullah, as well as defensive end Charles Snowden, were not at practice today. And neither was Devonte Adams or Tulu Griffin. So Tulu Griffin, Charles Snowden, Amir Abdullah, Brandon Faison, I believe these guys are all got some kind of a nagging injury going on right now. However, with Devonte Adams, he had to leave quickly from practice because his baby boy was being born in Las Vegas. So let's give a big Raider welcome to the newest member of the Raider family. I'm not sure what his name's going to be yet, but little Devonte is what I'm going to call him for now. Salute to you, little Devonte. May you be healthy and have a great and fantastic life, God willing. So happy for the Adams family, not the movie, but Devonte Adams family, for this new little bundle of joy that has come into their life. So again, we do just hope that everything went okay with the delivery and that the little guy is 100% healthy and is going to be a great whatever he's going to be. Like Davante said, hopes he gets into football, but whatever the kid wants to end up doing, he's going to support him 100%. So really happy for Devonte Adams and the entire Adams family over there for the birth of their new little bundle, their baby boy. So he should be back, I would assume, within the next few days with the team, just to finish up what they got going on down there in California. And then they're going to be back in Vegas here, I believe next week. They come back to Vegas. There'll be a practice in Vegas. Obviously, we got the game on the 10th with the Minnesota Vikings. We will be at Minnesota for that game. We will, right here on this channel, be doing play-by-play of that game and commentary. So make sure that you are subscribing and following and liking as we go through all of this stuff. So that's kind of the wrap up on the news on the injury report that we've got so far. Let's get a little bit into the news of a big guy that we're really happy is finally back. He's missed the entire training camp, and that is John Jenkins. John Jenkins, as you guys all know, the big guy, the defensive tackle or our big nose tackle type of guy. He was able to pick up a fumble and run it into the end zone last year, which was fantastic to see. He's 35 due to some injury, undisclosed as far as I know at this point right now. Has kept him out of camp this entire time, but he's back. Last year, he started in all 17 games, so we need him. He is a huge depth piece. Obviously, Christian Wilkins is now going to take over that spot as the starter. And so now John Jenkins can kind of save his body a little bit, and he can come in as that rotational player and give us that depth, especially if any type of injury happens on that line. On the interior, John Jenkins can just plug and play right back in there. So happy to have him back now, fully healthy and in pads and practicing and dominating like the big boy be doing, because that's what Big JJ be doing. Okay. So now let's get into a little bit of what's going on with the quarterbacks. Obviously, there's still the quarterback controversy as to who's going to be the quarterback of the Raiders. We just don't know yet. But what we do know from insider reporters like Levi Damien, who put on X today, that Gardner Minshew got some first-team reps to start the practice, and then Aiden O'Connell came in as well and got first-team sessions, and it looks like they'll be switching off. And then he goes on to say that Aiden O'Connell looked really nice today. Both signal callers had excellent performances. Aiden O'Connell seemed to be the best offensive player on the field. Not the best out of the two quarterbacks. Let's repeat that. Aiden O'Connell was the best offensive player on the field. Remember, he's got guys like Jacoby Myers. He's got a fantastic tight end in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. Devonte wasn't there today, but Trey Tucker was. And still the best offensive player on the field goes to Aiden O'Connell today. Today, it looks like he showed out. We're going to get into that. Okay. So the 25-year-old was on point today, throwing multiple touchdowns and barely missing a beat, according to Levi Edwards of Raiders.com. The fourth-round pick made one of his biggest throws of camp during a 7-on-7 drill and led a touchdown drive that ended in a Brock Bowers touchdown on the goal line. Love that. That's why we drafted him, right? So Friday's practice should generate some optimism around the quarterbacks in Las Vegas, but we still need to see more as we move forward to find out who's going to be that starter. But I'm telling you guys right now, mark my words, and God knows best, but I do believe that Aiden O'Connell is going to be the starter. Okay? So let's all just, I don't know the future. Only God knows the future. I believe that God has a plan, and I'm looking at it, and from an objective standpoint, I can't see how Aiden O'Connell does not become the starter. If you guys agree with me, hit that thumbs up, hit that like. If you're on TikTok, hit the heart thingy, however you do it on TikTok, because I'm kind of new on the TikTok thing, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. But if you guys are loving what you're seeing so far, make sure you hit that follow button and the hearts and the gift thingies and however we do this on TikTok. Because I'm talking to two groups of Raiders fans, okay, and I'm making the best out of it that I can. So help a brother out and hit the heart button. Is it giving hearts or roses, or how does that, guys? How you guys help me out with that? How does that work? Now let's talk about some wide receivers. This is pretty exciting to hear because we know that one of our receivers that we really want to take that next step in the offseason was getting touted like he was really taking that next step, and that's Trey Tucker. But then when we got into camp, he started to struggle, which is concerning. Okay? So, I don't know, but today he looked great. Today, Trey Tucker looked off the charts. He looked like the Trey Tucker that we want to see as the receiver number 3 on this roster. So while Devonte Adams was absent, the other wide receivers had a major opportunity to showcase their talent and skill set on Friday. Trey Tucker and undrafted free agent rookie Ramel Keaton, who I'm very high on. I made a video about this kid. I think he could be the real deal. He could be like a Jacoby Myers, an undrafted free agent that really just takes the NFL by storm. He's got the build. He's got everything he needs. Can he put it all together, make the team, and then make a big impact on the team? That remains to be seen. But today, apparently he did. They certainly took advantage of their increased opportunities, and Tucker had a rough camp, but on Friday he was a star. The former third-round pick hauled in 2 touchdowns on the day, one during a 7-on-7 drill, the other during team drills. The 23-year-old is expected to be the Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver number 3. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Vincent Bonsignor says, fantastic catch by Trey Tucker, hugging the sideline mid-end zone off a throw by quarterback Aiden O'Connell. Who else? Tucker was well covered, but showed great concentration to come up with the ball and get both feet down. Former Tennessee standout Ramel Keaton had a breakout practice, scoring a touchdown during team drills and putting together the best practice of his NFL career. Ramel Keaton, I'm telling you guys, go look at his game tape over there in Tennessee. He's got potential. The kid's got some serious potential. If he could put it together, I think he's going to be a great receiver in the NFL. I think he was slept on. I think he should have been drafted, and unfortunately he wasn't. But I'm glad that the Raiders were smart enough to pick him up, because even if he's a backup receiver for the next year or two, he can come in and make some big plays for you. And this is important because the Raiders are a little bit shaky in the depth at wide receiver, especially just because we had a guy retire. Keaton could find his way on the roster if he can have more days like this one. Ramel Keaton, a UDFA wide receiver from Tennessee, having a really nice day out there at Raiders camp, according to Vincent. Now, Alexander Mattison. This is some more news for us. Now we're getting into the running backs of the program because we've been talking a lot about Zamir White, and rightly so. Looks like he'll probably be the go-to guy, especially if he can keep up the 4.3 yards per carry that he had last year. And we love that. But can he withhold Alexander Mattison from trying to be running back number one? Well, Dylan Laube has received most of the training camp hype when it comes to the running backs. But according to Vic Tafur of the Athletic, veteran Alexander Mattison has also had a solid training camp. According to Vic Tafur, running back Alexander Mattison quietly having a very good camp, showing off his hands today. The 26-year-old signed a